everyone. For those of you who have not seen any of the previous videos on the same subject, this is a study of physical trait inheritance of homing pigeons, possibly attributable to morphic resonance. This video is a follow-up to the third video. In the third video, I showed the third and fourth rounds of young pigeons that were raised by surrogate parents. And I also commented a little bit about what possible effects morphic resonance had on those young pigeons. In this video, I am going to show you the fifth round of young pigeons that were raised by surrogate parents, and also comment a little bit about what possible effects morphic resonance had on those pigeons as well. In addition to that, I am going to show you each successive round of young pigeons that were involved in this study from the beginning until now, so that viewers can have a more comprehensive idea of the study itself, and also establish how conclusions are made through comparison observation. Please enjoy the video.
This is the blue-pied hen and her mate, the checker with white flights. You can see that she has a fair amount of white around the head area and neck area, as well as white flight feathers. And what prompted this study was the remarkable resemblance between her and an offspring she raised as a surrogate parent from the smoky blue pair. This is the first round of surrogate offspring raised by the blue-pied hen and her mate. The pigeon in the foreground has a remarkable resemblance to her. For this reason, I named this pigeon the Sheldrake bird, because perhaps through some kind of resonance with her enabled it to acquire those similar characteristics. That's the only remaining offspring from the second round of blue bar. The third round surrogate offspring raised by the blue-pied hen and her mate yielded 2 blue bars. This fourth round, 2 blue bars. Surrogate incubation initiated at about 12 days. This fifth round, raised by the blue-pied hen and her mate as surrogate offspring from the onset of incubation, yielded a blue-pied and a blue bar. Now we have the first round pied offspring and the fifth round pied offspring side by side. In this video frame, we have the blue-pied hen and her 2 pied surrogate offspring together as a group. The smoky blue pair, the male on the left, the female on the right. The first round surrogate offspring raised by the smoky blues. Here we have the second round. Here we have the third round. The fourth round. This is the fifth round of surrogate offspring incubated and subsequently raised by the smoky blues. Here we have the 2 checkers from the second round to compare to the 1 checker from the fourth round. Here we have 3 similar blue-pied offspring, the first round, the third round, and the fifth round. And here we have 3 similar pied offspring, the first round, the fourth round, and the fifth round. On the wall can be seen a number of the participants in this study. They sure enjoy their time outside. Now that you have been provided a look at the parents and offspring involved In this longitudinal study, from the earliest rounds until the most recent rounds, the focus will now narrow, and in the frames that follow, a few selected participants with salient attributes will be comparatively illustrated to show the extent to which morphic resonance may have played a role in their development. On the left is the blue-pied hen with her own biological offspring from the third round that was raised by the Smoky Blues. You can see a strong resemblance between that offspring and the blue-pied hen with regard to the pied features around the head and neck area, as well as the white flight feathers. However, its hue of blue plumage is darker than the blue-pied hen. It is the only offspring of her biological offspring that does resemble her to that extent. On the right is the blue-pied hen again with her surrogate offspring from the first round, the Sheldrake bird, and the fifth round surrogate offspring. Those offspring have the similar pied features around the head and neck area with the blue-pied hen, and the Sheldrake bird has the white flight feathers in common with the blue-pied hen. The fifth round surrogate offspring does have a single white flight feather on its right wing. The hue of blue on those surrogate offspring is similar to the blue-pied hen. That pattern of white on those surrogate offspring is uncharacteristic of their biological parents, the Smoky Blues, and characteristic of their surrogate mother, the blue-pied hen. On the left is the blue-pied hen with her left wing expanded. You can see that her first two primaries, P1 and P2, are blue, and the remaining primaries from P3 to P10 are white. On the right is her first round surrogate offspring, the Sheldrake bird, with her left wing expanded. You can see that her first two primaries, P1 and P2, are blue, followed by all white primaries from P3 to P10. Both sets of left wing primary flight feathers therefore correspond equally in terms of color location and color number. On the left is the blue-pied hen with her right wing expanded. You can see that her first primary feather, P1, is blue, followed by two white primaries at P2 and P3, followed by two blue primaries at P4 and P5. The remaining primary feathers are white from P6 to P10. On the right is the first round surrogate offspring, the Sheldrake bird, with her right wing expanded. You can see that her first primary flight feather, P1, is blue, followed by a white primary at P2, then followed by a blue primary at P3. From P4 to P9, all of the primary flight feathers are white. The 10th primary feather, P10, however, is blue. Both pigeons have equal correspondence between primary flight feathers at P1 and P2. From P3 to P5, the primary flight feathers do not correspond equally, although somewhat similarly. Then from P6 to P9, the primary flight feathers once again correspond equally. There is not equal correspondence at P10. On the left is the third round blue-pied biological offspring with the left wing expanded, and on the right is the first round surrogate offspring, the Sheldrake bird, with her left wing expanded. You can see that both sets of left wing primary flight feathers correspond equally in terms of color location and color number. On the left is the third round blue-pied biological offspring with the right wing expanded. On the right is the first round surrogate offspring, the Sheldrake bird, with her right wing expanded. You can see that both sets of right wing primary flight feathers correspond equally in terms of color number. In terms of color location, there is correspondence at P1 and P2, from P4 to P8, and at P10. One can't avoid but notice that resemblance to the blue-pied hen is expressed in a similar way between these two offspring, with the color pattern of the left wing primary flight feathers of each pigeon corresponding equally with one another, and the color pattern of the right wing primary flight feathers of each pigeon, although not corresponding entirely equally with one another, they nonetheless have a very similar pattern.
The inheritance spectrum would allow for a certain amount of expected physical variation to occur between progeny. What I have shown you in this video are progeny, the young pigeons, that have physical characteristics that appear to go beyond that expected physical variation, not only in terms of their color, but also their form. One of the young pigeons in this study, raised in the 5th round by the blue-pied hen and her checker mate, does have color aspects in contrast to the biological parents, the smoky blues, and more closely approximate a resemblance to its surrogate mother, the blue-pied hen. This young pigeon raised in the 5th round does not resemble its surrogate mother, the blue-pied hen, to the same extent as one of the young pigeons raised in the 1st round did, the Sheldrake bird. However, this does provide added confirmation that a morphic resonance between a surrogate parent and an offspring is not just a random occurrence. In any event, I am continuing on with this study, and I am awaiting the arrival of the 6th round of young pigeons. Until then, take care.